All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. In this video, we're going to talk about Gervonta Davis and what Leonard Ellerbe had to say about him leaving Mayweather Promotions. And also, we're going to talk about the word out there that Gervonta Davis is going to need a knockout to win because the fix is in with Gervonta Davis, Rolly Romero. Going to hit both those topics up in this video, so make sure you watch to the end. Let's do that in this video. All right, welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Fanon. We are in the lightweight division. We have a very potentially exciting fight taking place this weekend between Gervonta Tank Davis and Rolly Romero for the WBA regular title that is held by Gervonta Tank Davis. In the lead into this fight, though, there is a good amount of drama going on around Gervonta Davis's future, but also word out there that Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Mayweather Promotions want Gervonta Tank Davis to lose. And as a result, Gervonta Davis is going to have to shut this fight down by knockout, otherwise be at risk of robbery taking place. Now, before I get into those subjects, let me welcome you back to the channel. If you are a longtime subscriber to the channel or a recent subscriber to the channel, thank you for supporting the channel. Your support is greatly appreciated. If you are new to the channel, make sure that you hit that subscribe button and then the bell icon and select all notifications so that you can know when we talk about boxing, which we do pretty much on a daily basis on the live streams and in the videos that we do. All right, so first things first. Easiest one to take care of. Gervonta Tank Davis, Rolly Romero. Floyd Mayweather Jr. and Mayweather Promotions want Rolly Romero to win the fight because Rolly will still be with Mayweather Promotions at the end of this fight. So Gervonta Davis is going to really need to make sure that he takes care of his business, gets Rolly Romero up out of there. Otherwise, he's at risk of losing, getting a decision, go against him on the cards. All right. First and foremost, that I do not necessarily believe is the case because even though he may be leaving Mayweather Promotions, he's not leaving Al Heyman in the PBC and he's not leaving Showtime. More than likely, the same money is going to flow for Gervonta Tank Davis and everybody involved, even if Floyd Mayweather Jr. himself is not directly involved. That is because, you know, although Floyd Mayweather Jr. did build up Gervonta Davis, and I got to tell you, I agree 100% with what Leonard Ellerbe had to say about those guys doing a terrific job with Gervonta Davis in his career and getting Gervonta Davis where he is now as being one of the biggest stars, not one of the biggest, literally being the biggest star below welterweight that there is in boxing, which is not an easy task. And those guys need to be complimented for that. However, you know, people are not going to be burning bridges with people that are with big name fighters over very little things. Now, if this was, obviously there are cases and where, you know, where situations can be where, you know, you can pretty much predict who needs to win by knockout in order to get a decision, win by knockout to get a draw. And that is when people are fighting guys like Canelo Alvarez, you really do have to go above and beyond the regular Call of Duty to get a decision against a guy against Canelo Alvarez. But that's because Canelo Alvarez is the money guy. In this particular instance, Rolly Romero is not the one that is going to be attracting a lot of people to the Barclays Center, or I do believe it's at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, or to Las Vegas, or the guy that is going to be having a lot of people, you know, tuning in to watching different pay-per-views, right? Not at least as far as we know. Now, if Rolly Romero is able to do that, then hey, man, Rolly Romero does have a mouthpiece on him. He is an exciting fighter and maybe could be that way. But nah, man, I'm not going with that. I do. And plus, Gervonta Davis is just such a better fight, so much better a fighter than Rolly Romero, that I think Rolly Romero is the one that really needs the knockout in order to win the fight, because he's not going to outpoint Gervonta Davis. I have a suspicion that he's not going to make it the distance of the fight. But as soon as his hand starts dropping, he throws too many wide punches. Gervonta Davis is going to get in the middle of that. And if I have to bet which one of these big bombs are going to land first, my bet is that it's going to be Gervonta Davis with a bomb, with multiple bombs landing before Rolly Romero is really able to get one of those off. Now, on to the response that I thought was really interesting and I think is important from Mayweather Promotions, specifically the CEO of Mayweather Promotions, Leonard Ellerbe, when he did finally give a little bit of a statement around Gervonta Davis leaving, and he was being circumspect, but he said, look, I hope that Gervonta Davis is not being taken advantage of, that you don't have other people in Gervonta's ear telling him this and telling him that and telling him how much better things are going to be when he's not with Mayweather Promotions, and just people who are haters on Mayweather Promotions in his ear and guiding this guy somewhere to where he doesn't necessarily need to be, right? And that's about the most reaction that we've gotten from the Mayweather Jr. camp about that, other than to say, when Floyd Mayweather Jr. said, hey, things aren't meant to last forever, and we wish you well. If that's what you're going to go do, I wish you well, right? The part about being taken advantage of by other people, that's going to be interesting to see, because that's not something you can deny. That is very, very real in the world. You're going to have people that are going to try to, since Gervonta Davis is the big star, is in his ear, like, you don't need Floyd, you don't need Leonard Ellerbe, and could be hiring people, putting people around him that don't have their best interest, his best interest at heart. However, I don't really think that that's going to be too much of a risk, provided he keeps the other people in the organization around him, like Al Heyman and like Al Heyman, Calvin Ford, his trainer, right? Stays consistent with those two guys, is fighting on the same network with Showtime. I don't know really how anybody else is going to enter into that scenario and really misguide or mislead Gervonta Davis, unless, by that they mean, as far as the actual him doing things to promote himself. If he's not out there, doing whatever is necessary for him to continue to grow his name a little bit outside of the box, versus just being on the big shows, being on ESPN or what have you, as long as he's doing and taking care of his business, I think he should be okay. Now, the most important thing for him, though, is the fact that he's matured so much. And I think that, Gervonta, having been, in the limelight for several years now, it started when he was like, pretty much like 4 or 5 years now of him constantly being in the limelight. I think he should be ready to go. I know he had, earlier times in his career where he was missing weight or, really blowing up in weight in between fights and not staying close to fight weight. I think that was really the time frame at where he really did need that leadership from not necessarily leadership, but, the mentorship or the advice from somebody like Floyd about what it takes to be successful over the long haul. And it looks like he got past that hurdle. At least I hope he did. So I think all is going to be well with Gervonta. I think he's going to get past this fight with Rolly, and I do not think that we have to worry about any big robbery coming about. Also, I don't see any real reason to doubt that he's going to be able to take his career and handle his career and manage his career like a grown man. At a certain point, he's not 22, 23 anymore. He's 27, maybe going on 28 years old, getting closer to 30 than he is to 20. And, it just seems like it may be time, man. And he's actually speaking up more, being more vocal in interviews. Just very well may be time. But anyway, that's my take on the matter. You let me know what you think in the comment section. And with that, I'm out. Peace.